Welcome to the Curious Conversation Collaborative, a community for purpose-seeking professionals, entrepreneurs, and changemakers.
Listen to inspiring conversations with your hosts, inner leadership mentor Tessa and Karen and business wealth coach Karen Ravel.
Hello everyone, and hi Karen, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you, Tessa?
Cool. Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to this episode because it is February 2020 and this is the first episode of our new format of the Curious Conversation Collaborative. So if you have listened to our last episode, you know that we have changed things around a little bit, and what we're doing now is we have a monthly theme, and then either for 4 or 5 episodes, depending how many weeks there's in the month, we will talk about an element or aspect of that theme. And for February, we're talking about decluttering. And our first episode is about decluttering your space or environment.
And it's very apt, Tessa, because I've just been decluttering today. So, yeah, I'm a typical hoarder of information, and I like to be organised, but every now and then I get too much, too many files and too many bits of paper, and it all can get disorganised. And yeah, so I think you do need to find that time every now and then to just declutter and get things all tidy again. Well, I do. I find it, I can't work in too much mess.
Yeah. And I think, right, because like we very much said that our Curious Conversation Collaborative is a community for purpose-seeking entrepreneurs, professionals, change makers. And I think this is part of really, for me, that's the important thing to keep in mind, right? To be purpose-seeking, like it sounds all grand and deep and meaningful, but it does start with such a simple thing as making sure that your environment, I would nearly say is meaningful, but I think the decluttering is so important. It has such an impact on everything you do, right? So it really does start with your actual physical environment. And I know this very much, like the other aspects we will be talking about in the next episodes will be around decluttering your mind, decluttering your work and life, decluttering your relationships. And I really noticed for me that it really, whatever I do, whether it's in business, in life, my thinking, everything starts right here with if I'm at my desk and it's a mess, which I'm one step behind you, I'm in the process of doing it. So, but I notice how much impact it has on all aspects of my life. And I notice how it really, a cluttered environment really stops me nearly from being purposeful.
Yes.
So
yeah, I think it really does have an energetic impact. It's like, you know, that you've got that physical clutter that you can see, but that has an impact on your energy, and it can be quite draining, even if you don't realize it. You know, it can take up mind clutter, which we can talk about, but it's just your energy. Yeah. And I think, and I don't know about you, but I get really frustrated when I know I've got something and I can't find it, but I know it's there. And it's just one of those things that, you know, I think you just waste a lot of time and a lot of energy sometimes when you're looking for something, because you've just got into a load of clutter and you know you can't find it. It's just takes up too much time, and you're just not really efficient when you're in a cluttered environment.
No, and that's it, isn't it? I mean, I am very I can be all over the place, and it works for me to a degree. Like for me, it's like everything can be a mess, but I can always find everything. No one else can, but I can. Someone else should not make a mess, because then I can't find it. But if I do it, I know exactly where things are. But even having that, so that for a long time caused me to actually think, no, it's fine, it doesn't matter. But I notice still when I arrive, particularly now as an entrepreneur, like my because you know my home is my workplace. Like now I have a designated desk, but even so, it's still part of my home. And I really noticed that my energy is so much more organized or efficient, or feels more motivated when my desk is clearer. And especially also, again, my desk is in my home. So if I make sure that there is no laundry lying around or something else that makes it kind of, as you said, for me, it's a real feeling of things coming down on top of you. And I feel much freer, much more open when things are clearer around me. But even though I can find everything and it seems that I can work my way around through it, it actually really makes my energy much freer, much more concentrated when things are a bit more clear.
And I think,
I
think it also, for me, you know, it can make you feel either more professional or, you know, because I mean, we'll talk about this a bit more in another one, but, you know, when you work from home, it's those boundaries, isn't it? So I think you're right, but but to me it's that physical clutter, or what you interpret as clutter, is it just has a quite a strong energy drain, I think, on us. So
yeah, and I think it's even the same, to be honest, when you're in an office as well. You know, even when I was working for an organization, again, I had to be really mindful there of making sure that I spent time, that I scheduled time to clear my desk, because even there it could be one paper mess or something like. So I think it is like I'm more conscious in a way of it now that I'm at home, because it's not just my work clutter, but it's everything else as well, and also because the barrier between being at work and my life is less separate. But so the environment is the same. I don't have, like, you know, at least when my desk at work was a mess, when it was in a company, I could close the door and go home and not see it. Whereas now I see it wherever I am. But I think at the same time, so I think it doesn't really matter, because I noticed that going from working in an office from going to home, I also noticed how much similarities there were, that it wasn't suddenly different in how I looked at my environment at the same time. But I think also, you know, we all see that benefit of having a clearer desk, a clearer space, when you have really experienced that. But do we have some tips as well for people? Because I think for me personally, being quite messy in how I put my paperwork all around me, I noticed that sometimes it really is difficult to keep that clear space. So I know some things that help me, but do you have any tips around that? What helped you to do it?
Well, I just find, I mean, you can probably see behind me, I've got some cupboards which there's a lot of mess in there. And sometimes just having a cupboard or a box or something that you can put everything in at the end of the day, or something that just, you know, it's still there. If you open it up, it might still be a little bit messy and that, but it's just, it can keep it tidy for a while, and just clear things away regularly. And like I was today, just having a regular slot that you find time to just get back on top of things, you know, and find a place for everything, or get rid of it. You know, been doing a lot of shredding as well. So
I think the getting rid of is always the difficult one, isn't it? But it's the only way to properly get your environment more decluttered, I think. And again, that goes for whether it's your desk or your wardrobe, doesn't matter. All decluttering involves getting rid of things. But I think one tip I want to give for me was that what really helped is to actually also see it as something that's important, not just as a task that you have to do. But that too, like to actually schedule time to declutter. Because I notice what happens a lot with me is that I have all these other things I think I have to do, my emailing, obviously my work with my clients, you know, whatever else there is. So the actual time to tidy up is kind of nearly an extra then. Whereas if I actually see it as also a priority on my list, then I can schedule that in, like whether it's 10 minutes I need in the morning or whether it's at the end of the day, doesn't matter. But at whatever time works for you, to actually schedule that cleanup time, that tidy up time in, I think. And one other thing, like related to what you said about throwing things out, if you're like me and you have difficulty throwing things out, I would advise get a box and throw everything in so that at least you have that clear desk, and then start whenever you have time, schedule some time in to actually go through things. Because I know when my desk is a mess and when I at the same time try to determine what I want to keep and what I can throw out, then it will take me days to do it. And then I still don't have a clear desk where. So if you really have to put that mountain on top of you, then just throw it all and then figure it out after, and then, in your own time.
And listen to your type, whether you need to do that letting go in short bursts, because I don't know about you, but I can start off going, right, I'm going to clear a load out. But then I start reading things or looking at things and go, oh, maybe I'll keep that, maybe I'll keep that. And so I have to do it in shorter bursts. Or you might be someone who, can spend an afternoon or a day or something, a big chunk of time and say, right, I'm going in and doing this in one go. You have to listen to your own, your own personality, your own energy type of what works best for you. But yeah, I think the key thing is treat it as a priority and do it regularly, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah, no, I think so. And I think this is the thing. Don't think because you go, well, it's just me, I'm just messy, I'm just like that, because that would be really me. Like I'm quite okay with it, but don't think that therefore it shouldn't be a priority, because I do think once I then tidy up, you really, really notice the difference. It's just literally freeing your mind to have a nice and clear space.
Yeah, and that quite nicely brings us on to the next session next time round.
Yes, exactly. So, well, I found this very useful. I definitely know that for tomorrow morning straight away I will schedule half an hour or so to actually tidy my desk, because I really need to. And I think if anyone who's listening to this or watching this, if you have any tips around decluttering your environment, your space, please do let us know, because I think you're not only helping us, but you're helping anyone else who's out there who has trouble with that. And I think there's a lot of people struggling with decluttering.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for listening. Speak again soon.
See you next time.
Bye. Thank you for listening. Did you enjoy this episode? Let us know in the comments or send us a message. You can find out more about us at karenravel.com
and tessavankaken.com. Tune in again next week for another curious conversation.